Hello, everyone. Caren Glasser here, and welcome to Life Uncorked. We call this segment Aging Like a Fine Wine, and I am sitting here with John Tarnoff. He's an executive and career activation coach. He's also a best-selling author. He supports mid and late career professionals in defining, planning, and achieving more meaningful and sustainable careers. And without further ado, John, welcome to the studio.
Great to see you, Caren. Thanks for having me on.
I always love having you on the show. And
Great.
I'm just going to start right off with the
Let's
first
get to it.
question.
Hey, can I pick a wine?
Yes.
So it would be a Chateau Aubryon, 1989. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Yum. That sounds delicious. So we digress. Let's talk about your journey. How did
Yes.
you get to where you are today? Short and
Oh
sweet.
my God. A lot of trial and error, a lot of beating my head against the wall, a lot of learning lessons, and having this, I think, this intention all along the way that I wanted to end up here, which is doing education-oriented stuff. That at the end of my life, not that I'm there yet, but in this last act,
Right.
I felt like it was inevitably going to be about giving back.
Love that. Love that. I mean, you come from the entertainment industry. As I said, you're a best-selling author. You wrote Boomer Reinvention, which of course just basically tells all of us 50 plus or 55 plus. I don't know what the actual number is anymore.
So the last boomer turns 65 technically,
Right.
December 31st, 2029.
Wow. And there's a lot of us, right? And
Yeah, 70
and
million.
your book basically said, wow. And your book basically helps boomers reinvent themselves. I mean, that
Right.
really is what it's about.
And Gen X. I mean, I wrote it at a time when Gen X was still under 50. I look at it now as 50 is the demarcation line.
Right.
And if you're before 50, after 50, at 50, things change. And for those
No
of you
kidding.
out there who are at that point, you're realizing all this kind of stuff is going on in your head. And you're thinking, is it just me? Well, yes, but it's everyone
Yeah.
at this stage goes through this stuff.
And it's so true. So I guess the next thing to ask you is, so what drives you then? What drives you to continue on this path that you're on?
This is part of what happens at 50. You get this change where you start thinking more about meaning, purpose, and I think service.
Mm-hmm.
Really, this is what Eric Erickson calls the generative period of your life, where you're feeling like you have to generate every day in order to be meaningful. Otherwise, you go into stagnation. So we have that opportunity to either generate or stagnate. I choose generate.
So when you think about the work that you do with your clients and the people that reach out to you, if you can reach out to John, by the way, on LinkedIn. He's there all the time. He's got a great show. He's got a podcast out. Make sure you check it out. But when people reach out to you, is it normally the same kind of question? I'm stuck.
Yes. Invariably, it is, what am I doing? And it's either internal or external. Externally, you're getting these signals outside in your company, in your work, that things aren't the same. People are looking at you funny, or you're getting these overt signals of, so what are your plans? Are you going to retire? All this stuff, this insidious ageism that begins to percolate at this point. Or you feel like, what am I doing? Right? My work no longer holds the same meaning that it used to have. And I'm kind of thinking, what do I really want to do at this stage in my life?
And as you said, it tends to be, as it is for you, and it is for me as well, is to show up in service, totally different for the rest of the stages in our life. It wasn't that we weren't showing up in service, but it wasn't so obvious, right? We weren't the intention.
I mean, we were, I don't want to say distracted, but we were focused on getting ahead, establishing ourselves in business, raising a family if that was on the agenda for us, but kind of figuring life out. And now at this point, we've kind of figured a lot of things out. So what's next? And what's the legacy? What do we want to leave back so that at the end of our lives, we can feel like we made a difference or we fulfilled some sense of destiny and purpose for each one of us?
I love the word legacy. I really love the word legacy. And I also think that times have changed, right? I mean, it used to be, at least in my parents' generation, and it's not even my parents' generation. My dad is 90, my mom is 88, and they're both still working. So that is that is maybe not as usual as as what we're seeing now of people of our age. I'm 67, just turned 67, and I fully intend on working until I am no longer here. And I think that's a different mindset
Right.
than the generations before. You
Right.
retired, right? At 65, you're done.
I just want to say that the nuance here is that when we say the word working, we're not talking about 9 to 5. We're not talking about the way we thought of work versus play versus home,
Right.
right? We are talking about working the way we want to make the impact that we want to make, earn the income that we want to make if we can, but to really find that way of connecting to people, to generating business or revenue or meaning or purpose, whatever that might be, in our more malleable, modular way.
Right, right. And it looks different these days. A lot we work remote. A lot of us work remotely. We don't go into an office, especially at a certain age. But with what has happened in the past several years, so many people have gone into the remote world. And I think it actually opens up opportunities.
It's great. It
Right,
really is great. Yep. I mean, this was happening before the pandemic. I think the pandemic was just an accelerator
right.
of what was already happening. We would have come here no matter what. I mean, Tim Ferriss wrote the 4 Hour Work Week in 2008.
I
So,
know.
right. So that really, I think, was for me the demarcation line of, oh my God, there's a whole other opportunity that we have
Right.
to live a different lifestyle and produce even greater work in the process.
It really gives the new definition to work balance, right? Work-life balance in our life. And
Right.
I feel
Or
right.
work-life integration, which I think is
Integration.
the
I
term
love
that
that.
I like.
Work-life
Yeah.
integration. So, John, I guess I just need to find out what's next for you. I mean, you've got a podcast, you've got books, you've got clients. You're
Yeah.
doing the good deed here. What's next for you?
I'm still ambitious. I'm still thinking like a startup. I'm still thinking like, okay, how do I improve and grow this business? We're at the end of 2023. I'm in the midst of planning my 2024 and putting those big, hairy, audacious goals on the calendar. And I expect I will continue to be doing this until they carry me out.
You have another book coming?
It's in the works.
Okay, you heard it here, guys. You heard it here first. Next year, sometime next year, possibly.
Probably the year after.
Probably.
Probably
Okay, so
2025.
and here's the thing. You just said it. You are looking forward. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be next year. You have your plans in place. You're inspiring. What can I say? I want you to know how you can reach out to John. Go visit his website, johntarnoff.com, and you can visit him on Facebook, John Tarnoff Coach, and as I already said, LinkedIn, John Tarnoff, and on Twitter, or is it Twitter X, formerly known as Twitter, however you want to say it, at John Tarnoff.
One quick little plug. If you're interested in getting into this reimagination process of what you could be doing, reevaluating where you're at, I have a little lead magnet that might be interesting. You go to johntarnoff.com/4 questions, the number 4 questions, no spaces, and you will get a little questionnaire that is based on the ikigai, the Japanese sense of meaning and purpose for life, to start reevaluating this process of what you love to do, what you do well, what your world needs, and where you can make money.
So I'm going to put the link up, johntarnoff.com/4 questions. Did I do that correctly?
That's it.
That's it. All right, guys, you can meet John there and get his special gift. Go check it out. John, thank you. Thank you. You are always one of my favorite guests on the show. Go out, give somebody an awesome day. We know that everyone out there has a choice as to how and where you consume your information and your entertainment. You chose to spend it with us today, and we are grateful. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.